Bernie Sanders is clarifying something he said in the debate last night that drew some criticism. CNN's Don Lemon asked both Sanders and Clinton about their racial blind spots, if they have any. Here's what Sanders said.
When you're white, you don't know what it's like to be living in a ghetto. You don't know what it's like to be poor. You don't know what it's like to be hassled when you walk down the street or you get dragged out of a car. And I believe that as a nation in the year 2016, we must be firm in making it clear we will end institutional racism and reform a broken criminal justice system.
Well, some viewers jump to the implication that only African Americans live in poverty, and today Sanders is clarifying what he meant. CNN senior Washington correspondent Jeff Zeleny joins me now from Detroit with the latest. So, some controversial words there from Sanders last night, got a lot of attention. What did he say today to push back?
Well, Anderson, he sought to clarify his remark a little bit. His aide said, look, Bernie Sanders is not racist. He meant nothing by this. One aide told me that this is a product of his generation. He's 74 years old. He's from Brooklyn. He was using that term ghetto, and it was not meant to be offensive. But he sought to explain it today when asked by reporters. Let's listen.
What I meant to say is when you talk about ghetto, traditionally what you're talking about is African American communities. There's nobody on this campaign, and occasionally you might want to write about it or mention it, nobody on this campaign who has talked about poverty, whether it is in the white community, the black community, the Latino community, more than I have. We have 47 million people living in poverty in America. And in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, that is a disgrace, absolutely. I've talked about that issue more than anybody else. What I meant by that is I think many white people are not aware of the kinds of pressures and the kind of police oppression that sometimes takes place within the African American community. So you have in the African American communities, you have police officers abusing people, and that is the point that I tried to make. But I don't want to be lectured about talking about poverty, whether it's white, black, or Latino. Nobody in this campaign has talked about it more, and nobody in this campaign cycle who has proposed more specific ideas on how to address poverty.